Hi guys, it's Dora with Keller Williams of Central Pennsylvania, and I'm here with Anthony with Cross Country Mortgage.
How you doing?
Today we're going to be talking about grants, so let's get into it.
Love it. Who doesn't like free money?
Right?
Right? It's
I know, I love
it. Free money. So there's a number of grants that are available in our company, and I'm going to talk about the main two grants we have. The first one is called PHFA. It stands for Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. This is the most popular grant in the state of Pennsylvania. So if you're buying a home and you're wondering about what grant you qualify for, ask your lender, ask me, ask whoever about, just say, do I qualify for the PHFA grant? So I'm going to get into that one a little bit, and then we'll talk about the second option as well. So PHFA is it's a great organization. They've been around for a long time. What the grant is in a nutshell is the state of Pennsylvania gives you 5% of assistance based on the sale price of your home. So if let's say you're buying a home for $300,000, 5% of that is $15,000. So you will get, the state of Pennsylvania will give you that $15,000 and assistance, and you can use it. It'll cover, a portion of your down payment and closing costs. So the rough number I'd say to get into a home for that size door is probably about $30K.
Wow.
Probably a little bit less than that, but we'll round up just for easy math's sake. So if you qualify for this grant, you cut it in half. Like what you need at the closing table is cut in half. It is insane.
Wow.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So PHFA grant is a wonderful program. We use it all the time at Cross Country Mortgage. What you need to qualify are two things. So you need a credit score of 660 and above, and you need to be under the income limit for whichever county that you're in. So let's use Cumberland and Dauphin County, for instance, since we're here local. You need to be under about $106,000 per year. So those two things, if you can check the box for those two things, 660 and above credit score and under 106, you're golden. You're going to be,
look at that.
You're going to be in the clear. So ask your lender about that. Ask me about that. You're going to qualify for that. Now, so that is a good part of it. Let's talk about the tough part. So obviously we know that there's no such thing as free stuff in this world. That would be great if we could get everything for free.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not how it is. The common question is, hey, do I have to pay that back? So here's the part that I want to get into is, if you own your home, if you own that house for 10 years, it is forgivable.
Oh.
You don't owe a penny back. You get that $15,000 or whatever that amount is for free. You get to keep that. That is given to you because you showed the state of Pennsylvania you want to own a home and you've stayed there for 10 years. So that's given to you.
Wow.
If you leave, here's what happens. It's not, you can do that. You can sell your house or do whatever. However, you will owe that money back to the state of Pennsylvania on a prorated. So
Okay.
you're not going to owe, you're not going to owe all of it back. Like if you leave 5 years into it, if you sell it, it's okay. You're just going to owe half of that back. So in our scenario, it would be $7,500 you would owe back, and $7,500 that you still got over the course of 5 years. You're still given a portion of money and you borrowed the rest of it, and then you're going to pay it back. So 660 credit score and above, making under 106 per year, and it is forgivable after 10 years. You do not owe that back. It's not a second mortgage. You don't pay on it ever. So you just have, you have your one mortgage payment and that's it, through PHFA, and it is a wonderful program.
Wow.
You don't have to be a first-time home buyer for it. So that's another,
that's
common
really big.
Yeah, that's a common misconception. So you can be, it can be your 10th home you bought. You can still qualify for it. Couple key points on it. It is a regular closing is about 30 days. This takes about 45 days. It's just because it has to go through two underwriting processes. It has to go through the mortgage lender, Cross Country, and then once it's approved on our end, we send it out to PHFA, and they have a robust, process to where they make sure everything is good. It goes through, and that takes, an additional 15 days. So that's where we get the 30 plus 15. It's about a 45-day closing. Just absolutely, I've seen wonderful stories on this to where people would not even be able to buy a home for years.
Wow.
And this grant program has allowed them to do that. So it's a great program. Anybody should look into it. I mean, you don't know that you're not qualified until you at least try it.
Yeah.
So,
you don't know till you know.
And I can tell you very quickly, my program, when you get pre-approved through Cross Country, it'll highlight the programs and grants that you're qualified for. So it takes all the hard work out of it. It is awesome. It makes it very easy with technology. It literally will highlight what you're approved for, and I can go off of that and give you those options. So that's the PHFA loan program in a nutshell. It's a absolutely great program. What do you think of it?
I think it's incredible, and it says loan, but it's a grant. So keep this in mind. You only have to pay it back if you do move out. So it's a grant that's available to any and everyone. So yeah, that's awesome.
Wonderful program. We do a lot of those a year, and yeah. inquire about that. Make sure that's step one. PHFA, those funds, they're always available 365 days a year. You can always get those funds and they're always there. Now let's get into the second one, okay?
Yeah,
let's get into
this
the second
one's my favorite.
This is a great one. I love this one. It's called the Bank of Atlanta, right? Bank of Atlanta. These funds are available on a time-to-time basis. So let's move on to the Bank of Atlanta. This is a little, these funds are a little bit more, on a timely basis. For this year, a real example, these funds become available April 1st of 2026. So keep that in mind. And here's how the grant program works for Bank of Atlanta. There's two buckets to it. If you're a first-time home buyer or if you're a first responder, you qualify for this grant program. Let's start with a first-time home buyer. Obviously, you have to be a first-time home buyer. You haven't, and get this, you're considered a first-time home buyer if you have not owned a home for 3 years. You are now considered a first. So just a little nugget there. If you owned a home 5 years ago and you sold it off and you've been renting for 5 years, you're a first-time home buyer. So that's a key point. Just kind of getting off topic there, but that's just
that's really big.
Yeah, it's big.
That's really big.
It's big because people think, oh, I bought a home in 1999.
Yeah.
You're a first-time home buyer again. So a 3-year gap. So keep that in the back of your mind.
Wow.
So Bank of Atlanta, let's get into it. First-time home buyer, you get up to $17,500. So you're going to be a little bit more than PHFA, I'd say. So you get a little bit more of grant program. It's available, like I said, on a timely basis. So this, I'll give a rough average. It is usually available for about 3 months at a time, and then they run out of funds because it's so popular. If you're handing out this grant money, why would people not want it? So
of course.
It's going to come and go quickly. So you got to strike while the iron's hot. So first-time home buyer, there's no minimum credit score requirement. You just apply through a local lender, and you could be eligible up to $17,500.
You hear that? Those are all great things.
It's a great option. So talk to a professional, ask them, see if you qualify for it. Now let's shift over to the other section. This is very specific. You have to be a first responder, right? My hat off to them. I'm sure you can say the same thing. I love it. I have friends and family that are first responders. So under the umbrella of police, EMS, firefighter, any type of first responder, you qualify for this. You get up to $20,000 off of your closing costs. You could essentially, this program, you have to bring $1,000 minimum to the closing table. So if you're buying a home and it's $21,000 to get into the home, you get a grant for this. You're getting into a home for $1,000. So the $20,000, you take that grant from Bank of Atlanta, and which, by the way, Bank of Atlanta, it's eligible in about 10 states. I know Pennsylvania is one of them, and I believe Maryland and New Jersey too. I don't know where they came up with those, but I think it's just up and down the East Coast. They chose, or that it's eligible in 10 states. So Pennsylvania, being one of them. If you're a first responder, you get $20,000 off of your cash to close.
Why would you pass that up?
Why would you pass it up? So I would say talk to a professional, ask your lender, ask your local bank, whoever it is you're consulting with, ask them about these options. Not every company is going to have them. We're lucky enough to have both of these options. Not everybody has them. So, just inquire about it, see what options you have out there. And you can, within 24 hours, you can know what you're eligible for and what grants you're eligible for, what programs you're in line with, and then you're off and running and you're shopping for homes with Dora.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That is what I like to hear. It's so important to have a lender that you can trust and that actually cares about you, because plenty of lenders will take your information, but they won't see what you qualify for. They don't care about saving you money at the end of the day. Like, he actually cares. He wants to get you in a home. We want to get you in a home.
A square peg doesn't fit in a round hole. Like that's with real estate, that is something that it's not a one size fits all. So I take and same as Dora, we take every scenario as its own, and we have to sculpt it. It's like a clay sculpture. There's nooks and crannies you got to look into to uncover what's the best fit for them. It has nothing to do with me. How can we get you into a home for the lowest down payment, the lowest monthly payment, the best interest rate at the time, and how can we do that as easy as possible?
Yes.
So that's where these two grants come into play. You have the PHFA and you have the Bank of Atlanta program, grant program, both phenomenal programs. PHFA is a little bit easier to access because it's there, around the clock. That's your McDonald's. It's open, it's 24/7. You can always access it. You just have to talk to a professional, and they'll be able to get you squared away.
Lovely. Perfect. So, I did hear that when you get a mortgage with Cross Country Mortgage, there is an extra benefit if you are a first responder. Can you get into that a little bit?
Absolutely. I'm really glad you brought that up. What Dora's talking about is that specifically, this is only with Cross Country Mortgage. So you have to be with us to do this.
Ooh.
It's called the line of duty death benefit. So what that means is if you are a first responder, like again, police, EMT, firefighter, anything of that nature, if you are unfortunately killed in the line of duty, or if you unfortunately do pass away, we cover your mortgage up to $525,000.
Wow.
So we forgive it. So in a sense, it's a life insurance, it's an extra life insurance policy to the spouse and to the children that God forbid if anything happens to you, which it does happen. And unfortunately, we've seen it here over the past couple of years. We rolled this out in 2023, so it's been available for 2-3 years now. We've unfortunately seen it happen, and these families don't have to worry about taking on $500,000.
Yeah.
Like like you're already distraught at as it is of losing a husband or a wife or God forbid a child. You that mortgage is forgiven.
Wow.
Up to $525,000. So anything over that, it's worked out. But that is the huge benefit of working, because our CEO Ron Leonard in our headquarters in Cleveland, he takes such pride. He takes such pride in that, and we just have so much respect for veterans and active military and the whole nine. So that was something that I literally got like choked up about, like when they rolled that out, and like I was like thinking about it and talking about it, like it's just so cool.
That is so cool, and they're the only mortgage brokerage that does that offers that.
We're the only mortgage lender, I think, and don't quote me, in the United States that offers this right now.
I've never heard of it, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It's 2 years old, so it's 2 years old, and we love it. It's obviously not something. It's like a will. You don't really want to talk about it, but it's something you gotta face at some point. And this is a lifeline for families that go through a tragedy.
I will ask, is that something that's available for if you're on the VA, and you have a VA loan? Would
Absolutely.
that work with?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So they can stack on top of each other in a way too, like that grant with the death benefit?
That's a great question, Dora. It doesn't matter what loan you have. If you're a first responder, so you could have a VA loan,
as long as you have a loan.
As long as you have a loan through Cross Country.
Oh my goodness.
It can be any style of loan. If you're a first responder and if you're killed in the line of duty or in another unfortunate circumstance, you're covered.
Wow, that's big, because that's not just. That could be just a loan, like not even your mortgage. Well, that is incredible. And I am so grateful that you could stop by and enlighten us with all this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. And we're excited to work with you guys this year. Very excited.
Pleasure's all mine. You'll see us again soon. Real soon.
Plenty more. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.